What's going on, everybody? What is going on?
Woohoo!
Oh, woohoo indeed, my friend. This space is about to get started. Welcome, everybody. Please share the space. We got some good friends coming in today. We're going to be talking about THORWallet. And arguably, we've had a little conversation at DM. We may have on stage the most handsome Mexican man in crypto. Look at his profile picture. Look how handsome he is. You guys,
I'm not Mexican, Patriot.
Oh, I'm so sorry, buddy. I apologize. Well, forget it. We got a white boy up here. I don't know what we're going to do. It is what it is. I tried to find Mexican representation for you guys, but it's just not possible. I'm sorry. Everyone in crypto is white.
You're talking about crypto XZ, right?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. You know, I just...
Who are you referring to?
Well, you're not Mexican?
No.
I'm talking about crypto, buddy. Now, I know you have awesome hair. I don't have any hair on my head, so I'm always a little uncomfortable when I talk to you because I don't have. That's always a good attack vector. I can make an argument about anything. I could say, hey, you should do this, or I come up with a really good idea. They say, well, you're bald. Shut up. I'm like, well, damn it, they got a point. What do you do? You know what I mean? I don't know how to get around that attack vector. You know what I mean? So
you know how you get around it. You own it, and you love the fact that you're bald.
Yes, I try that, but then they just say I'm bald again, and then I don't know where to go from there. I've tried it. So anyway, guys, let's get this introduction out of the way. I hope everyone's having a great Saturday. For those who don't know, THORChain is the biggest decentralized exchange for Bitcoin in the world. And now you can use every Bitcoin wallet in the world and you don't have to connect it to a website. Same with Ethereum, XRP, BNB, Tron, Doge, and more. Eventually, you'll be able to swap any token from any wallet. Very cool. THORChain is turning into a full layer 1 liquidity engine where apps can be built on top of it. The new app layer, Rujira, unlocks lending, perps, Bitcoin-backed stablecoins, token launchpad, NFTs, prediction markets, and more. THORChain isn't just a DEX, it is becoming the protocol of pure, uncensorable liquidity. Swapping on THORChain is permissionless. There is no KYC. Anyone in the world can use it. To swap on THORChain, I'm going to give you two options today. You can either go to THORChain.org, which is a desktop, and you can click on swap. New features and functionality will be added to the site over the next few months, or you can download THORWallet, which is an app inside of your wallet. Really cool features and functionality as well. We love our boys. To tell you more about THORChain, THORChain's token is called Rune, and that is spelled R-U-N-E. You don't need to buy or hold Rune to place a swap on THORChain, but the fees deducted from your swap are used to buy Rune, and this is the Rune that is the yield that goes to liquidity pools and nodes. There are no block rewards on THORChain. 100% of the yield is real, and THORChain is currently deflationary with 5% of the revenue burned. THORWallet has a token too called TITN, but we will be getting into that later, so hang on tight, guys. If you hold Rune on a centralized exchange, you should withdraw it into self-custody because these tokens can be used to short sell Rune and drive the price down on us. And once in self-custody, guys, please look into bonding your Rune to a node to earn some yield and help secure the network, which can help drive the Rune price up. A great site to go to is runebond.com. It is so easy, guys. All you have to do is find a node, request a whitelist, and bond your Rune. You can also communicate to the node operators anonymously as well. Shout out to the community. We have many node operators like RuneTard, Slambad, and others. They are looking for new node operators, and they want to be a broker for finding new node operators and bond providers as well. So if you want to become a node operator, please reach out to me, Kenton, or any other people you know. We will get you all the materials you need. We will train you. It's all free. We just want to increase the decentralization of the network. And of course, if you're interested in bonding Rune, you can reach out to me as well. If you want to reach out to RuneTard on X, he is at RuneTard. That's at R-U-N-E Tard on X. THORChain has another token called TCY. This token is kind of like a preferred stock, where 10% of the protocol's revenue goes to these token holders. If you deposit crypto into savers or took out a loan on THORChain, make sure to claim your TCY tokens so you can start collecting this yield. And anyone can buy the TCY token on THORChain.org as well. There's a THORChain community Discord and Telegram. You can join, learn all about THORChain, and make lots of friends. To find the links, go to @THORCommunity. That's at THOR community account on X. Guys, this space is aimed at anyone on your THORChain journey, whether you're learning about the first time or you are a hardened veteran. We will cater to everyone. All right, guys, let's get this show on the road. My name is Denny. My other account is Patriot Sounds. I also represent the Ruin Bond account as well. I hope everyone's having a great Saturday. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. It's really cool to see what THORWallet has been building. Those boys have been busy, but I'm going to go ahead and kick it to Kenton real quick. How you doing, Kenton?
I'm good, thanks, buddy. Yeah, my name's Kenton Ralph Toes. I have a fund that invests in Rune and runs nodes on THORChain. So I'm a node operator and bond provider. And I'm also running the marketing team to promote THORChain. And yeah, I'm looking for the last space on Thursday. We talked about we're going to start moving away from doing actual spaces on Twitter. And we're going to start doing videos through Riverside and live stream to Twitter and the other social media platforms. And so, to be honest, probably our biggest, we've been talking about this now for months, and just kind of none of us really had the bandwidth to pull it off. And another hang up was like you, our listener, that we want to make it like the nice thing with spaces is you guys can request to come up to talk and ask questions or whatever, right? Our goal is to keep this as an open forum and give everyone a chance to be heard. So we're worried about going to a different platform that it'd be harder for the listeners to ask questions or get involved. But it sounds like with Riverside, it's pretty easy. There'll be a link. You just go click. You don't have to create an account. You'll have to click on the link and go, and you'll be able to join us on the stage. And if you don't want your face doxed, obviously you can have your camera off, or you should be able to text us any questions you have. So, I'm actually looking forward to it. I think we all are. Like, this actually should really up our game on these spaces and be able to see our faces. Video content is obviously much more engaging than just audio, and no more rugging, right? No more issues with X spaces. We've all had to figure out setups that don't rug and have probably been uncomfortable for each of us. So, and then also too, maybe we can get guests that, people that aren't on Twitter, right? They don't have a Twitter profile. So the idea here is to make the experience better for you, the listener, and to start tapping into other social media channels. So hopefully next week, maybe next Thursday will be our first test run. I got to get set up with Riverside. I'm stuck on their free trial, which is frustrating because I can't add enough all of our users. So I have to get off our free trial. So we got a call with them to do that next week. Yeah, so hopefully next space we're trying it out. And yeah, if we do, bear with us. It'll be our first time. We might have some issues, but we'll get it dialed in.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a little bit of a bummer that we don't do it today, because if we have the most handsome Mexican in existence on stage, and that's eye candy, we are depriving our audience. That is a problem. And I totally agree with you, Kenton. 100%.
Well, he's going to have to come back then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We've already got a good-looking Canadian. I'm ugly American. There's nothing to be done about that. But I think we're going to make do with what we got. And yeah,
with that attitude, you're right, Patriot. Change your attitude and you'll be beautiful. You're beautiful, man.
I'm beautiful. All right. I love it, guys. I'm feeling quite special today. Crypto XZ Pedro, what's going on, brother?
Hey guys, how's it going? GM, happy Saturday. And yeah, thanks for having me here. And the great intro. I like that. I'm gonna take that to any other space I take.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make sure. I don't want to be gay, as I'm not. But if there's any girls out there, is that not the sexiest voice you've ever heard? Would you like that voice to sweet talk you as well? So you got a lot going for you, my friend. You're smart, you got good looking, got a good voice. So my friend, you go ahead. The floor is yours. Tell us about THORWallet, man. Give us an introduction.
Yes, thanks. So happy to be here. Thanks to everyone listening on this nice, lovely Saturday of 2026. So yeah, happy to be here and talk about THORWallet. For those that have not heard about THORWallet or are not familiar with THORWallet, THORWallet is an OG project in THORChain. Our focus has always been being the model provider for cross-chain swaps. Since 2021, we have been building and have been growing an audience and customer base since then. We are heavily focused on making the user experience as seamless as possible. And our vision is to make it easy for users to, through their mobile, swap any token to any token. And we are slowly getting there, but it has taken a lot of effort, but it's now almost a reality. So if you have not used THORWallet, go ahead into thorwallet.org. You can download the app. It's available on iOS and Android. We have more than 175,000 downloads. We have been steadily growing, and we have multiple things that puts us apart. So, as I said, firstly, we are mobile first, but we also have multi-sig integrated. We have a card. We have gamification features, and a bunch of other things. So we're expanding into earn functionality. You can also do we have been working on improving the bonding functionality from THORWallet as well. So basically, kind of a one-stop shop for everything you want to do. If you want to swap any asset that is supporting THORChain, then you can do it easily. You can import your wallet. You can create new wallets, and the most importantly, you can also spend your crypto. So have a look, download, and happy to discuss everything that we have in plan. There's a lot of things going on. We have big ambitions for this year, and I think we have started with a strong foot.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, sorry, Kenton, THORWallet, you guys have gone through a bit of an iteration, right? Like your first version of THORWallet, when you tried to make it, I think you would say that back in the day, it was very early. It was a little slow, right? It was a slow responsive, but you guys made the difficult decision and the correct decision to basically redo the entire guts of THORWallet, right? But because of that, in my opinion, there's a holdover on the reviews because your wallet's excellent. I use it, I do. And there's a lot of stars on their review for THORWallet that were from that period when they were just learning the THORWallet, right? So if you guys could, if you've used THORWallet or try it out, give them 5 stars because that rating is not relevant to what they have now. It's a completely different beast. Go ahead, Crypto.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, actually, that's pretty accurate. So it's funny because we stored all these images that we have, and this is now our the third iteration. So it's the third new design we have had, and it has adjusted a lot. But if you see at some of the early designs we had, some of the first version, I mean, it's kind of funny, but also it's a weird proudness because of where we come and how much we have, improved since then. But yeah, that's part of the growing pains of literally just growing. So when we started, we have always been quite aligned with the decentralized ethos of the community, and basically what we believe is like THORChain enables freedom because it's probably the only place or one of the few places where you can trade with size, fully decentralized across multiple chains. And back in 2021, there was cross-chain was just starting, but it was really not even called cross-chain. We had like some EVMs like BSC and others, but it was not really fully what we now know as different chains. But we believe that was going to be the case. We were early on. We identified that was going to be the trend. And in the first versions of THORWallet, also back then, THORChain didn't have so many chains integrated and so on. We would go and fetch data from the blockchain on the go. So like also everything was done on the mobile phone. So if you had a Android that was a bit on an older version, that would take a bit more time because we would request 5, 6, 7 different blockchains, get your balances, get the relevant info. And at some point, I think when we cross like the 5 to 10,000 active monthly active users, we started to see a lot of the kind of the struggles that you mentioned. Like people are, they would compare us with other wallets and they would say, "Oh, why is this wallet loading so fast?" And basically, we just understood that, and that's something that we can kind of carry on quite a lot in the sense that people really ponder convenience massively. So And so we had to completely, scrap what we had. We had to rebuild everything, and basically we changed the app to be a more, let's say, modern app where we have our server. The server makes the heavy lifting, and then the app is just kind of like a window to the world, and then loads fast. But it's not the powerhouse, and that changed everything, because if you have a slower device, then the processing power is not anymore a constraint. So that was like something that we did, I would say now around a year and a half ago or a bit more, but that was a big change, and we have seen since then quite a lot more adoption. But even though, as this is a continuous battle, so to say, because as you continue to add more chains, we recently added Zcash and others like that. That is just a constant process, and I think it's a bit more cumbersome with Android, just because Android has so many devices, and many of those devices are 5, 6, or 10 years old. So as you go ahead, like some of the computations that are needed, for privacy get more intensive, and it's just kind of a normal improvement process that we always take care of. But yeah, that's true. And besides that, I mean, we have worked a lot on several points. So like we see this a bit of as a funnel. So how do we bring users in? That is the first thing. And the second part is, how do you retain those users? And I think that extends to everything, like if you're like even to THORChain or other applications. We are, at the end of the day, a business. We need to make users, and we want those users that are recurring customers. So anything that brings us users, anything that helps us to increase revenues, that has always been our two main KPI drivers. And yeah, last year we had a very, very strong year. It was, fortunately, every year we have been growing in terms of revenue, in terms of users, but particularly first half of the year, we were increasing quite a lot in our revenue. So yeah, we're very excited on the trend so far. We always see, as the market dips down a little bit, or whatever, there's always these waves where people get a little bit less excited, or some people even go into crazy mode. Oh, everything is dead. This will never exist, or uh, crypto is done for good. And then a few months later, or 6 months later, everyone is crazy again. And so we kind of got used to ride those waves.
Yeah, good recounting there of the event. That's really awesome. It's been a journey for all of us, I would say, interfaces and the main protocol itself. Kenton, I'll go ahead and kick it to you, since I think I interrupted you. Go ahead, buddy.
No, not at all. That was great. Thanks, guys. CryptoXE, welcome. You mentioned make payments in crypto. Is THORWallet a point of sale app now, or how can you make payments in crypto, or what can you say?
Yeah, no, we're not a point of sale at the moment. I mean, I know some of the guys in Mocha have been contacting us to eventually go and explore that opportunity. But so one of the features that we recently introduced, so we are a full banking suite. So for those that do not know, we are based in Switzerland, and we have a partner which is a fully regulated Swiss bank. And recently we introduced several features that allow us to be, in a user experience point of view, closer to an e-banking solution. So most of the cards that have existed in the market, those cards are our cards are basically considered top-up cards, and basically they're prepaid cards for most reality. So basically, the money that you put in the card can never get out of the card. But in our case, the card is one of the features that we have, but the main product is basically a bank account. So once you create your wallet on THORWallet, then you can optionally decide to create a card. The card requires you to pass KYC, because obviously Mastercard and Visa do not work if you do not do KYC. But once that process is done, then basically you get a full bank account in Switzerland. You get an IBAN number. You can transfer from your bank. You can do a Swift transfer, and basically you can deposit fiat as well as crypto. So if you want to send US dollars, if you want to send euro, or if you want to send Swiss francs, you can do that. That has no cost, and then you can start spending on the card, or you can top up with USDC the card, and then that, depending on what type of card you have, then it has a certain cost, which ranges from like 1% to, and it goes lower depending on the card that you have. But what I was saying is that now we added additional features to the banking suite. So, for example, if you have other people that are THORWallet users and you know that they're also card users, now you can simply transfer money, and you say, well, that's already possible in USDC. Yes, but now you can transfer very easily from THORWallet to THORWallet, and they will receive the money from bank to bank. So basically, it looks like a normal transaction, but it's not only to their wallet; is you can send it like to another bank, and that might be useful because that guy has his own bank connected, and then he says, "Oh well, I need whatever $500. Can you send me?" And then you do it; it gets transferred instantly, and then because he's connected to his own bank, wherever he is, to let's say Germany, then he can do an IBAN transfer to his own bank and pay, I don't know, his electricity or whatever. Um, Within Switzerland, and that is expanding as well to other European countries, most of the bills that you receive here have a QR code. So basically, you could pay your rent, your electricity, or basically any other bill with THORWallet. So you could leave, you know, top up your card and pay everything now with the THORWallet banking solution. And not only that, now you can also make payments to other banks. So I could say, oh, I want to send to this other bank account that I have. And that is slowly expanding the number of banks that are available, and before it was only to your own bank. That is going to be like your own bank in the sense I have another account in Deutsche Bank or whatever, but in not to another third party account. But that is being expanded as well. So a lot of these features are have been recently released. I think we released it end of November, uh, and that has been exciting. We've seen quite some nice adoption on the card. But recently, we also announced a few weeks ago what we want to do is expand into the US market. So that is where the majority of our users are. And so far, the card was not available. The other thing is the card was a virtual only card. And I'm a bit surprised of that, but we have a lot of user requests that they want to have a physical card, and I don't think people really use it that much, but it just feels nice to have it. I don't know, like they feel they have it, they can show it. It's kind of a nice bragging thing. Oh, I have a crypto card, which is physical. So we announced that we are launching a new card. It's with a different banking partner, and that will allow us to completely revamp the experience from a card perspective. So we will have a physical card. We will also have a free virtual card, and we will be able to also add very cool things like cashback. And we will also be able to do a lot more of the things that you have seen with other card programs, like you can access airports or things like that. That all like the specific details, we're still kind of in the um, adjusting what do we want to offer. But it's going to be very interesting because well, it will be neatly integrated into the ecosystem, and it's going to continue being non-custodial.
Wow, great. So then, is it fair to say that you're now a neobank, like in the back end?
Well, that has been our one of our competitive things that we have been aiming towards. I think for the most part, yes, but we are still have ambitions to offer a lot more. So um, once the US card is live, we will be offering a lot more things that will be exciting, and I think that will put us now kind of, if we are already a new bank, that will be like neobank plus. So like we will have the card, they will be able, like you will be able to do anything that you do with your normal bank. So you will be able to go to an ATM, withdraw cash. You will be able to spend with the card. You will be able to get rewards. You will be able to um, you know, get the perks of Mastercard. So depending on the type of card that you have, you will be able to also get multiple cards on the same, like these virtual cards. So you're gonna have a virtual card to just for security. You only use this to buy, I don't know, plane tickets and things like that. All of that will be available on the app, and we already are starting to accept people for that. So we have a website called whitelist.thorwallet.org, where people can go and request to whitelist. So basically, they join our newsletter, but we're kind of keeping track of that to get them early access, and we're making great progress on that. So that's gonna be super interesting. And last thing I want to point on that is that we might even consider have we're still seeing if we have like one premium card or another super premium card that gives you a lot more, but we will see that depending on the user request and what do they want, because from what we've seen on the card so far is that and we have several thousand users now on the card that they have created it. Some of them are way more active and some are less, but basically you have two types of users. So you have like the small, less than 500, 1000 max users, and then you have the giga whale. So you have like 5 or 10 that are like spending max. So yeah, we're excited to see how that turns once we go into the physical world. And yeah, we also are open to hear from the community and from the users. What do they think they would like to see in the card program? What is it missing? And we will try to incorporate that.
I do have a question actually about that. I have a couple questions actually. So someone would like to know, just to clarify, will there be a physical card for like someone who wants to go to the Philippines where they really don't, you know what I mean? They still take physical card. Like, could you answer that?
Yes, there will be a physical card. So that is launching this year. We do not have an exact ETA, but we are aiming to be as fast as possible, hopefully Q2. But there's going to be a physical Thor wallet card. Yes, 100%.
And can
Okay.
the virtual card, can it be added to Google Pay or Apple Pay?
Yes. Yeah. So right now, with the card that we have at the moment, that card is already available for Google Pay and Apple Pay. With the new card as well, the one that's going to be virtual and physical, that's going to be also available for Google Pay and Apple Pay. So no matter how you want to use it, if you want to have the plastic, if you want to just the virtual, or if you want to have everything in your virtual, physical, and Apple Pay, all of that was going to be available.
Another question I have. Let me see. 1 second. Sorry, guys. So the question is, if you make a payment, you buy, sell something with the thing, will those get reported to the IRS or the European equivalent of an IRS, Internal Revenue?
Yeah. So we get this question frequently, but I think it's difficult to answer in the sense that this is because, as I said, this is not a card like this. The entire card is a bank account, right? So the one that we offer at the moment, and both are going to be Switzerland regulated. So basically, it's like you have another bank. Let's say you have UBS here, and you created an account at UBS, and then you just use that to spend and so on. Um, I don't think the UBS actively reports every transaction that you do, but if there is a legal compliant request from a government agency, hey, I want to get this person's bank account from UBS, they will have to go through the legal process, and if they get the proper documentation and the court order, etc., they will provide that information. So I think the best mental model to go through is just this is just another bank in that aspect. So if you just treat it as such, so I don't think there's going to be any like they have visibility as any other account that you have.
What's for me, what's exciting about all this is like the only thing holding you back from going gangbusters is regulation. like the technology is all there, right? If you guys wanted to be like, bank and all that kind of stuff, handle fiat, the technology, you can do it, you can implement it. It's just there's so much red tape, regulation, licenses, lawyer fees, all that crap. Right? Am I right? Like, is it hard? What's been the hard part for you? Has it been on the technology side, or has it been on the lawyer, legal, regulatory side?
Yeah. So I think it's a bit of both. So because like when we have jumped into this, like the thing we wanted to avoid is that we hold the license because that is a problem. Then so we that's why we have been working with banking partners. So I think banking partners that are or have been dabbing into crypto so far before Trump, I think they were a bit, stuck in the middle. So they were not a bank, they were not a fintech, so they're kind of in between, and that made them to kind of comply with the hurdles of a bank, right? Like you might have, I don't know, 10 million in your, service, but then they wanted you to comply with like the lowest banking regulation, which was 100 million, for example. So I think that has been the that's why like a lot of these services are starting to go now because they went through the approval process. Also, I think specifically the payment gateways, right, like Visa, Mastercard, they were extremely uncomfortable with crypto until the recent administration change. So you were very likely to get a certain program with the card closed. So from our perspective, I think it's been a bit of both. So now that with the first card that is now live, I think we have been probably around year and a half or 2 years live with that. Um, but also with the first card, the Swiss based one, everything was done on the blockchain. So like to get the card, you need today an NFT and all the let's say accounting was done on the blockchain. That is nice and reduces a lot of the operational work for the bank, but also introduces another element of friction to the user. So, for example, um, as I said, you can top up the card with fiat, right? You can send $1,000, but if you want to send USDC, and you might say, well, this is obvious, but it is not as obvious as you might think. Like people want to top up the car, but they do not have Ethereum to pay for gas and things like that, which for a newbie or from someone who comes from Revolut or other similar services, then it's kind of a steep learning curve that okay, if I want to use only crypto, I need to have gas and or things in that area. So I think it's partly regulatory has been difficult, but also the user experience, and that's something that we took as well. And the other part as well is the KYC. The KYC is a killer, and the more that you can improve the process, the easiest, the shortest you can make it, the better. But from a user perspective, obviously you want no KYC, which is not possible. So how do you make it as simple as possible while still being compliant? And we have been trying to work on that and reduce the number of steps so that it feels like 3 or 4 things and then you're done. And that I think that's the main struggle because some things you do not have control, right? Like for example, so far, and that's something we're changing with the introduction of the new card. But with the current card, you could only get the card with the passport. And while that seems like a decent request, there's so many people that do not have a passport, and they say, "Oh, can I do it with my driver's license? Can I do it with my national ID?" And the answer so far was no. And yeah, we're working on getting that hurdle also over the board. But that also implies like if you have a passport, especially like those that are modern passports, they are biometric passports. So these are the passports that the governments are the most happy about because then they know it's a real person, and now with AI you can fake the ID. So it gets very cumbersome, and it has a lot of layers on um, I would say nonsense bureaucracy, but at the end you have to comply with that. Like the banks, if you put your passport, they happy because they can just show it to the compliance officer and say, hey, we're sure this guy exists. And then if you go into another type of thing like driver's license, so you need to introduce video verification, and so it's kind of a trade-off. It's definitely a trade-off, and the key point here is to find the sweet spot. But what I can say is in the new card, we're definitely going to be shortening the onboarding process, and we're also going to be removing a lot of the friction that was linked to having crypto. So we want to be that you can top up with crypto, but we want to make it also to try to be find a way to sponsor gas and things like that.
I got a question. When it comes to banking, buying things, right? Let's say I go to Kenton's shop. I'm buying some silver from Kenton, right? I buy a couple ounces of silver, right? With a regular card. They don't know how much I have in my bank account. I could have $13 million in my bank account. I could have $13 in my bank account. Doesn't matter, right? So will it be allowed? Will it be possible? Because I hear you support Zcash. Will you be able to pay your bills with like shielded Zcash at some point in THORWallet?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't think we have the answer right now, but what we are working on is to bring. So Zcash is already available in THORWallet for those that want to try it out, both on seed wallets and multi-sig and so on. But what we're working now is to also bring the shielded version of that, so that you can do swaps from and from shielded or from non-shielded, shielded those funds. But I think at the end of the day, you will still have to do some process where, for example, what is most likely not going to happen is that I have shielded Zcash, and then I'm going to be able to top with that. Because, as I said, there's always a regulatory framework that needs to be compliant. So that's why with the card, we have only worked with the USDC. With the new card, we might expand that to other stable coins, but at least USDC as well will continue. Maybe Tether. Those are still details to be figured out. But the reason I'm saying that is because if you work with USDC, then the regulatory bodies are also happy because they know that they are able to freeze if you do some malfeasance and so on. So if you top up with some funds and then you want to spend it, and then you might, someone will come and say, okay, we freeze this. Again, with the proper judicial process and so on. But I think that's why you're seeing that USDC and a few other stable coins are getting quite adoption in other banking services. So it was just announced that they're gonna allow it in interbrokers or one of the big US platforms for trading, and it is exactly the same rationale for that. So in short, I'm not sure, but in any case, what will be possible is that you have your SEC, and you will be able to most likely swap from shielded Zcash into USDC, and then top up with those funds. But at the end, if you're badly scamming and so on, I mean, we're not. It's not going to be a free for all scam market, and so you're going to get your things frozen. I mean, that's just how it is, because you deal with Mastercard, you deal with the proper banking system, which is, I guess, the best that we can do. Otherwise, you just live fully on crypto.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm going to kick it to Kenton. I do have another topic, but I don't want to change the discussion. If Kenton has something more he wants to add or talk about.
I was gonna be just, I don't know. We can change it if you want, but I was kind of curious, like the whole, you mentioned KYC, and like, I mean, we all get it, and you mentioned, people that don't have passports, and their ID isn't accepted, all that kind of stuff. Like this was the whole promise of crypto. Like this was, especially 10 years ago, it was like, the unbanked, right? I haven't heard people talk about the unbanked in a long time. And this, for me, this is like kind of what gets my blood going and gets me excited is, crypto has that promise of serving the 6 billion unbanked people in the world. And I'm curious in your thoughts with, like, you're not alone, you're doing stuff to get these debit cards. You have to, it's a necessary evil to do the KYC. There's all kinds of other platforms doing the same thing. Do you see this as like we're still moving in the right direction. Like, it's like a halfway step to serving the unbanked, or is it like crypto's kind of like doing a bit of a U-turn, and now it's going back into this whole KYC world, and we're going to be kind of stuck, unfortunately, in
Mm.
the KYC system. I'm curious where you see this going and how it shakes out.
Pedro, you just so you know, you are double. You have feedback when someone else is speaking. But go
Okay,
ahead.
I'm going to mute myself. Yeah, okay. Um, I think that's an interesting question. I see it in two ways. One, as you said, like a step in the middle to achieve, the promise of what crypto is supposed to be. But at the same time, I think two things can be true at the same time. So if you want to be, fully crypto native, if you want to be like, this is what crypto was built for, this is what crypto is supposed to solve. I think that what we offer right now in THORWallet allows you to do that, but it also requires from the user a lot of effort. In the sense, you could live with THORWallet and pay only in crypto, receive only in crypto, but that's not how most of the people live, in the sense, imagine that, you pay, you have your company, right? And I would imagine that most of the people that you employ, you pay them bank transfer or whatever. So and that's the nature of the work today, where most people get paid in fiat. But if you're a person that says, okay, I'm done with the banking system, I think you can right now say, I will only accept payments in crypto for my company, right? And then any provider that you want to work with, a main requirement is that they also take crypto as payment. So I think that's one of the things that, for example, guys like Joel has said from the Dash guys, and he has lived in crypto only with crypto for a couple of years now. But it does require a lot of, friction from the user. Like, I only find the services that accept crypto. I only work with people that pay me with crypto and things like that. I think that is a smaller niche, but it's definitely worth keep pushing forward with that, and that's why we are building more features where you can transfer the privacy features, etc. But I think we also have these other people who have never touched crypto, so like the crypto newbies, people that come from Revolut, and people who really have been exposed to crypto, but this kind of fake crypto. That, yeah, I have my crypto in this account, but I cannot withdraw it. I can only see. I mean, that's good as nothing. So I think that is a bit of a step in the right direction. But especially if you're a company, that's something we also realize. Like, if you like, you might be able to say your employees, okay, we're gonna pay from now on crypto, but many companies do not accept you to pay them in crypto. Like, try paying AWS with crypto, or try paying certain services. So like, we are in a place where you still need a debit card or a credit card that allows you to access a lot of different services. And I think that this other area of THORWallet, which we see it as a kind of wall garden area, because that's the area that requires KYC. Not everyone wants to do that, and it's not mandatory. But if you want to do that, and if you're a person that has needs that can be solved by offering a better solution, but levered by crypto, then that's what we're trying to do. So, like, bring the people from the centralized exchanges, bring the people from Revolut, bring those into closer to holding their own keys, self custody. And the cool thing about that is that, for example, on THORWallet, the card is not where, like, it's a separate. As I say, it's a top up type of thing. So, like, it's a separate entity. So you can have your funds, as Pedro was saying. Nobody knows. In my own wallet, I have whatever amount, but I just stop as I need. And I think that's a nice way to kind of still navigate the necessities of the world, where I might need to pay certain things with my debit card, but I still kind of take advantage and benefit from the upside of crypto. So I think that's where we stand. But obviously, we would like to have more and more services that make the native core crypto go into the right direction. But our feedback from users is like the biggest hurdles are always when you don't have crypto and you try to onboard into a wallet, or where you have fiat and you have crypto and you want to spend it. I think those are still big pains that need to be solved, and we're trying to address those with our grain of salt. But there's still a lot of pain on those two fronts.
Yeah, I
a-
agree with you. Oh, sorry, Pedro.
no problem, buddy. I have actually another question here. Someone in
Well,
Europe.
I have a follow up to that. I want to
Go ahead.
Yeah. I agree with you, crypto XC. Like I think we are still going in the right direction, and it is a little bit of a necessary evil, and it is the on and off ramp is definitely the stickiest part. I think it's definitely much easier to, like, if you're to live all in crypto now, you can do that quite easily. Like in Cayman, like I know guys here that do it, and they just basically they just need those debit cards, credit cards. They can charge us stable coins, and they're pretty good. So I'll tell you, I was gonna add some. Oh, just a quick shout out to anybody. If you I just signed up with Dakota Bank with the Berserk marketing entity, and got approved very quickly. Already deposited some money. Already converted to fiat. Fees are extremely good. So if anybody out there they only do businesses, entities, but their onboarding is great, and but it is a neobank. But it's something I'm seeing with these neobanks and regular banks, like they're getting better, and their processes are getting ironed out, and I think that'll go a long way for adoption in general. I was actually thinking with Dakota Bank, I'm actually just made a note for myself. Now that I'm got going with them, I'm actually going to pitch them on integrating THORChain. Like why can't these neobanks also have THORChain in the back end, right? And they can have like a Bitcoin account, Ethereum account, and all these other crypto accounts, and they just tie into THORChain. So right, that's the big plan, the big vision, right? Is we get THORChain everywhere. But yeah, I'll stop. Let you go, Patriot.
What a good idea, man. Love it. Oh, go ahead, Pedro.
No, I was just gonna say yes, 100%. I mean, that's how I see eventually evolution, where a lot of B2B will happen on THORChain. Like where people say, well, why do I need to use a third party? I can just do the transaction myself. And I think that's gonna be eventually how things work, because most crypto banks right now, because like what we have discussed, the regulatory pains and so on, they ask for a lot of very high fees, especially if you're a business. And that's like a lot of the improvements have been done on the commercial and B2C side, whereas on the B2B, that there's still a long way to go. And I think that also has to do with the risk involved, right? Like if you have a individual, most of the time the risk is pretty controlled to lower amounts, but on a business it goes much bigger. But the fees that some of the banks here charge for crypto, and not even like just having the account, nothing else, they are ridiculous. And I think that is going to be disrupted soon.
There you go. I do have a question specific to THORWallet here for you, buddy. So someone likes to know, they live in Europe, they have a residency in a certain country, but they're not going to go there anytime soon at all. They've got the passport, the whole thing. When they go to make an account, they're geo-locked out because they are not physically in the country of their residency. Is there a workaround there? Is that by design, intention? Could you speak about that?
Yeah. So that should work, but they need to and I imagine that is they have tried to create an account with the current system. I mean, the other one is not live yet, but it is possible, because what we want to know, or the regulatory body wants to know, is that we want to get your proof of address. So normally this proof of address was get a utility bill, take a photo, we match it, and so on. A way to kind of simplify that is you say, okay, I take your GPS position, and then take as proof that. But basically, like, people need to understand what we're replacing is the proof of address. So it doesn't matter if, for example, like, I am from Mexico and I want to open the account in Switzerland or wherever he is from, I don't know, Colombia, and he wants to open in Germany. That will work, but he needs to put his location to match the real location where he is. So even if his passport is in Colombian or whatever, he needs to say, okay, I'm in Germany. And then the geolocation will accept, and it needs to match to where his residence in the application process. So if I say my house is, I don't know, street 123, he needs to be physically or with the phone at street 123, because when we do this process, basically what we do is we go and say, okay, what's the geolocation at this point? And if the address with a couple of degrees of error does not match to street 123, then this cannot be taken as a valid proof of address. So this is what he's referring to. And it doesn't need to be that your address needs to match to your nationality. You can be an expat living in somewhere else. But the problem that we mostly face is, first, he needs to have his passport. If his passport is not biometric right now, it's not. There's no workaround. We will introduce one soon, but right now it's not available. And the other thing is he needs to be, like, his location needs to match where the address that he puts he's living.
Okay, there you go. I think that was pretty good answer there. Thank you. Well, so we have a lot of people that are going to listen to this, live, and of course have the recording. There is a airdrop that's going on right now on THORWallet. So, people listening, they're going to excited to say, hey, THORWallet seems really cool. They got this banking license that's really hard to get. I want to participate in this. I want to earn maybe some revenue from this. You have a token, TITN. I believe that's titanium, if I'm not mistaken, right? Maybe tell us about your token. How does it work? Yeah, floor is yours.
Yes, yeah. So that's the other big thing we have been working recently. I just announced this week we went live. So for those that do not know, as you said, we have our own token called Titan, and it was launched a few months back. We are live in several platforms, like you can buy and sell directly on THORWallet, but we're also available in Coinbase in the US, Binance Alpha, Aerodrome, Gate, MXC, and several other venues where you can buy Titan. And basically, the idea with Titan is kind of our ultimate or the last iteration of what we have been working in terms of tokenomics. So we have already, been in the market for several years, and we had a previous token that we now migrated to Titan for multiple reasons. One of them was, the facility to move from one chain to another. But the other, the other thing is to provide more functionality. And throughout this journey, we kind of tried different tokenomics. So we try, giving yield on our own token. We try buy, back and burn, and other things. And this is, what we believe is the most comprehensive solution. And that's what we call feedback return. So basically, when our business model is quite simple. So if people come to THORWallet, they download it, it's free, they can hold any assets they want. But if they want to swap or use some of the other services that we have, we take a commission. The fee for that commission can be lower depending on the amount of Titan that they hold. And also, if those commissions come from purely decentralized sources like THORChain, Maya, and a few others, then we share part of that fee back to stakers. And the reason for that is because this is fully decentralized. That fee is paid by the network to the stakers, so it never comes to our books. It's not that we distribute; it's the network, and we just have like a system to allocate who gets how much. But basically, for the user, in simple terms, is if you hold Titan, you get rebates on the fees that you pay on THORWallet, and you also get fee return in USDC. So if you have a larger amount compared to the pool, then you get more rewards. And that has been going now for a while. Yeah, I think that is pretty successful. in the sense that you do not have inflation. So every reward that comes is real economic activity in the app, and it also makes it easier for people to understand what's the value of the token. Like if our user base is growing, if our swap average swap per user is also growing, then basically the token is accruing more value. So we add more chains, more possibilities to get income, and that's how it gets the token gets valued. Um, at the end, of course, everyone needs to make their own research and decide if this is good for them or not. But we're quite excited about that, and we introduced the airdrop, and the airdrop is a way to incentivize users and to start giving some rewards to the active users in the community. However, airdrop has been kind of a challenge for the last few years because, people are farming them. Then people either want them to get them for no effort, or they have been misallocated because some people have managed to get a lot of their. There's so many. It's quite difficult to build an airdrop campaign now these days. So what we have decided is we're gonna be sharing 5 million Titan and among 300 users. And the dynamics for this is we ask them to LP because then they help the network, they help one of our close partners, and they also help the Titan community to have deeper liquidity for people who want to buy and sell. So they need to LP at a minimum of 1,000 US dollars, so 500 Titan, 500 USDC. And then on top of that, then there's rewards for, like, if you're a swapper, or if you have perpetuals, or if you have Titan stake, then you're starting getting some extra bonuses. But it is also competitive in the sense that we are gonna do this for, I think, around 80, 90 days, something like that. And basically every day we take a snapshot of your LP position, and that helps you to rank where do you stand, and those 300 basically get the rewards. And if you are, let's say, the fortunate 301, then the next day you want to come in and swap more or LP more or whatever to be in the top 300. But also we put some limitations. So for example, the max LP that we will consider for the numbers is going to be 20,000. So let's say the way to max out your reward will be, I put 20,000 LP from day one and I just leave it there for all the time. And then you can look into the other bonuses and so on. But right now, I think we also have collaborated with some cool platform called X Scanner. Now they put a dashboard. People can see that in the dashboard, or they can see it in THORWallet itself. But right now, I think people are paying anywhere between 3K, 6K, some 10K, but like most people are on the 2 to 3K, and then they're trying to gain points by swapping or by staking or by other means. And it is a bit more fun because first, you cannot have a big whale coming and suck up all the rewards, which is one of the number one things we wanted to avoid. And the other thing is, because it's over a long period of time, then you need to kind of be engaged, putting the LP for a while, not just, oh, I come in the last 5 days and I scoop in everything. So that is the LP. It is now in the third 4 days, so there's still a lot of room to jump in and start earning some rewards. And the cool thing about that is that those people that earn the airdrop, of course, they can do whatever they want with that, but uh, ideally they would then stake it and then participate in the fee rewards scheme that we have.
Yeah, makes sense. Before this, just to make things super clear, people, there was a token TGT that is the older token, and people had to convert their TGT into Titan TITN, right? Just for the record, is there any reason whatsoever to buy TGT to transfer, or should people avoid that asset?
So I think the time to do that is gone, because of how we did the merge. It is a smart contract audited by Code Arena and so on, but we had a 12-month period. So basically, there's a linear decline from the date that we started till today. So every block, then the amount of the ratio becomes smaller. So I think now when we did the merge, maybe it's like 6, 7, 8 months ago. So now you will get half of what you have gotten if you would do it at that particular time. So I think most people have already done it. I mean, we have some statistics that I think around 90% merged. So like it was pretty successful, and there's also almost little to no liquidity. So I would put it in different terms. If you have Titan for whatever reason, TGT for whatever reason you forgot, and now you're listening to these spaces and you say, "Oh gosh, I have it somewhere." Now you should definitely go and merge it because the old one is now basically has no value. So, but going and buying new and trying to merge, I think it's much better to just buy Titan directly because you're gonna get a haircut by merging.
Got it. Okay, just wanted to clarify that. Kenton, go ahead. I think you were trying to say something earlier.
No, that you actually, those are both my questions. So the TGT token that was on Ethereum, and the TITN token, is that on Base? Is that right?
So the TGT token initially was launched in Ethereum. Then, because the card program is on Arbitrum and so on, we made the bridge from TGT. So basically, TGT existed both in Ethereum and Arbitrum. And when you merged it, the merge was done on Arbitrum. TGT now is powered by Layer 0 and is mainly a token in Base. But one of the reasons why we use Layer 0 is because it makes it easier for you to move Titan into any of the other EVMs. So right now, Titan is available both on Arbitrum and Base, but because this merge process is still ongoing, you can only interact with it through Base. Later on, we will enable other chains and so on. So the people that had Titan on Arbitrum were those people that did the merge process. So you cannot go and get Titan on anywhere else that is not Base.
Great, thanks. Pedro, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, so okay, it sounds like you guys have a full suite, right? The things you're building, you've got the neo banking license, right? You're going to be able to make payments with the cryptos. You're going to have a physical card going. I think we've been pretty comprehensive in anything like, and also, by the way, you said it in the very beginning of space, but I don't know if that part got recorded because sometimes we don't do the very intro. But I want to be clear, guys. THORWallet also has the ability, like Multisig has, where you can have multiple vaults and sign transactions that way. So a very, very safe wallet. Really, really cool. I think you guys are brilliant for adding that technology. I mean, you guys are just always thinking ahead, right? Like you're not planning for today, you're planning for tomorrow. I think that's quite clear from your team. So maybe do you have anything that's let's talk about tomorrow. What are things that you guys are aspiring to do? Anything that you may not have mentioned already? Go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
Yeah, so there's many more things that we are looking to add. So one of the things that we are working on is to expand the earn functionality. So that is right now not as comprehensive as we would like to do that, but we will have integration of Aave and other of the top DeFi protocols so that people can, if they want to earn yield, then that possibility is going to be introduced soon. The same thing for other staking protocols. So like, we support all the top chains, but right now we do not support, for example, Solana staking or ETH staking. Those are things that a lot of, we think about users in different cohorts. And I think the majority of our users are more the degen type of users, but you also have the other users which are, they want to come to their wallet, they want to have a safe wallet, and they want to park their money, earn some yield, and do not do anything crazy. So I think that type of user has requested other features related to real world assets, related to liquid staking, and so on, but not very complicated, super risky vaults. But the plain vanilla, I want the ETH staking, I want Solana staking, and so on. Those things are coming as well soon. that's something that we are working towards. And besides that, we are also, always thinking about what other chains. One thing that is also in the backlog that we had some technical challenges to do that, but now we are going to be working on that this year as well, is introducing the multisig for Android. And we also have a big update coming in maybe in a few weeks, or 1 to 2 months max, where we're going to be upgrading our core um, React libraries, which will mean that the app is going to be much faster for the majority of the users, which will be particularly noticeable for Android devices. So that is also a big, more on the cleanup side, but it's going to be those small changes that help the user become, just more user friendly interface and speed and reaction times. So those are things that we have in the near term. And besides that, I think that pretty much covers like the big topics that we have, and we might look into other swapping routes as well. But right now, I mean, we're focusing heavily on bringing the card live.
Okay. A question for you. You guys have Zcash added. Are you guys going to add Monero support?
That's something that we do not know yet. Um,
You haven't
in
heard
the
of
past,
Monero?
no. We have heard about
Dude,
Monero.
I'm joking.
No, like actually, so funny story. Like I think like what is that? Like 2 years ago or something, we were in contact with the guys from Sarai Dex, because when Sarai was happening, I mean, even way before THORChain wanted to implement it, right? And there was even I think even like a full PR blown ready to go. Then I think there was some security concerns from Monero, and then it never happened. But then Sarai came into the space, and we actually contact them super early on, because one of the things we have done is that we are cross-chain native maximalists, right? Like we want the user to be able to swap at any time, and if certain routes are not supported, we still want to find a way to bring that. So we contacted them and we say, hey, how can we participate? Can we be a node operator, etc.? But since then, like we just kind of had that a bit part. And the other thing related to Monero as well is that um, for a very long period, I mean, I think this just changed this year, to be honest. Well, the year that just passed, but for the majority of the last, I would say 3 to 4 years, anything that was related to privacy would put you in a very hot spot. And well, you know, I think that privacy is, a fundamental freedom. It also was a very big. It would just put you at a different risk level when you were doing things related to privacy, especially with Monero. I mean, we saw that most centralized exchanges cut down Monero, and that was for a reason, right? Like governments do not like that, and they would ask questions, and you just kind of become the ugly duck. So I think that sentiment has changed, especially now with Zcash going up last year and becoming way more mainstream. I think that is changing. I do not know if we're gonna add Monero or not. I mean, it would be great from a cyberpunk perspective, but it also has a lot of second order consequences on and then they may be as simple as some of their partners starts to say, okay, do we want to continue working or not, or there's so many things that spawn from that.
I get it.
But if there's a way eventually to have like a full Dex uh THORChain style or Sera Dex, that would be something we would look into eventually, because that was our intention back then. But nothing has crystallize in that front.
I understand. Yeah, no worries. It's just an interesting question. So I do have a question from the THORWallet community here in Telegram, and they want to know: is the 70% USDC staking rewards, is that currently live implemented?
Yeah, so that was one of the benefits that we had from moving TGT holders to Titan. And not everything has been done. So there's a couple of things that need to be. We have been working on that, and we are, it's one of our priorities also internally. But there's a couple of other things that are going on at the same time that have dependencies. So, for example, those that merge their TGT to Titan know that there's a transfer block for a few months that is going to be lifted in March. So in March now, everyone who merged are going to be able to transfer, sell, or do whatever they want with their Titan. And there's a couple of things that need to be done first. But yeah, we have it is in my to-do list, and we have been preparing for that. So it's gonna be implemented soon.
Okay, there you go. The answer to that. Another question we have. Let's say I've got a buddy here. Maybe his name's Kenton. He doesn't know anything about crypto. I've got my THORWallet, right? And I want to on-ramp him onto THORWallet. What are the perks? Do I get special perks by on-ramping new people to your wallet?
Yes. So we have a referral program that we just reintroduced now for the airdrop, and then we're gonna be starting to we already are doing that. So we're counting how many referrals you have and so on. The specifics of the reward program are not live yet because we're still working on it. But basically, what is going to happen is you're going to be earning basically a share of the people that you refer. So like if you refer people and those people go and swap, then you will be earning basically money from those referrals. What it is live right now is if you go and start referring people for the airdrop and those people participate in the airdrop, then you're going to be getting a higher allocation for the airdrop as you get more referrals. And this actually is one of the interesting things as well, because this is where we sometimes struggle with the real world, the crypto world, and the real business needs, because we had a different referral program in the past, and that's something that we kind of realized it was working, but it was not really what we wanted. Because if you share the link, so our main user base is mobile. So, and how it used to work before is you would share a link, and that link, when you click it, it would send you to our web app. And then that web app would say, okay, download our app. So basically it was multiple steps, right? And if you had 2-3 steps, many people drop out, and that doesn't really work. So until recently, we found another system where now it's a referral link, refer.THORWallet, and then .org, and it has some information, so we can identify who's referring anonymously, but still we can say, okay, wallet introduced so many people and so on. But basically now this link takes you directly to the App Store. It's Android, or it automatically recognizes if you have an Android or if you have an iOS, and we get that information back to us saying, okay, this guy referred this another person. So that is some big change that we are introducing. It's now live, the referral part, but what is going to be also live soon is the entire reward system that comes along that, so that you say, I get a share of the referrals and so on.
So the people who make referrals now, those, like, the revenue sharing thing is not happening yet, but if you make a referral now, does that get like kind of banked, and then when that system goes live, you will get the share of the swap fees from the people that you did before it goes live? Does that I totally butchered that, but I think you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're doing now is, like, if you refer now, we already started tracking. So we already started tracking on how many referrals you have, if those referrals created volume, etc. And that's going to be baked into the program rewards and if you already have a lead on, I already refer 100 people, and those are bringing volume, we're gonna have that tallied into the rewards. And another question that people always ask related to that is what happens with the old system. So, and the old system, as I said, we found out that it was not really working. It was working, the system worked, but it was not business logic that we wanted to support. Um, in the sense that we want you to, as quickly as possible, download the mobile app. This is kind of one of our core metrics. And the previous system was, as I explained right now, like you refer, then we would track the volume, and then from that volume, let's say you have $500, you will be able to claim those. But as we move from TGT on Ethereum, and then TGT on Arbitrum, and now Titan on Base, that system, because it was on different chains, we didn't adjust it. So we still have now basically a list that says, like, people who were in the old referral system that have not claimed their rewards, and we're gonna basically close that first, and then we will open. So everyone who still have rewards from the old system, because they come and ask frequently in our Discord, those are not lost. They will still get those rewards. Obviously not in TGT, because that token does not exist anymore. But they will get those rewards, and then we will kick off the new reward, and the other one, it's completely shut off now.
Okay, sounds good. I want to kick it to Kenton real quick. Did you have anything else you wanted to ask, Kenton?
I don't know, but we'll bring up Aftermath. You've been patiently waiting, and so you got something to say? You want to ask? Check your mic.
Give you a few seconds, buddy.
I might be. I know what it's like. You're waiting to speak, and then all of a sudden you're tapped on the shoulder. You gotta get yourself sorted out. Aftermath, are you there? Sorry, Aftermath. This is another reason we got to move to Riverside, because I brought up Aftermath as a speaker, but Patriot can't see that. He can't see him.
Yeah.
And that happens all the time. Like maybe some of you have requested, well, we don't see any requests. Like, and that'll happen too. People request to come up, and we don't see you. So just
it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right after Mass.
Yeah. If anyone else wants to come up, please request now. It's open stage, guys. What Kenton said earlier is so true. That's one of the hesitance of going to live stream. We do not want to silo ourselves away from community. So that's why we're hoping that it'll actually be more engaging and better content. And then we can see questions in real time. And so that's the whole point. We do not want to ever silo ourselves away from the community.
Yeah, I see another question on the chat about perpetual and the fees and the buybacks. And so the question is, how much fees were collected so far with perpetuals options? It still plans to make buyback with those fees. Is it possible to use those fees from perpetuals for a liquidity pool? Yeah, that's interesting question. So I think like 5-6 months ago, we introduced perps with our partner DYDX. That was also a heavy push and interesting. And I think that that was successful so far. We have not. I think there are multiple things here to analyze. So the first thing is it has been successful, but not as successful as we imagined it would be. And I think mainly for that is when we went live, there was this immediate backlash against perps. Like there was, I think, a couple of them lost a lot of money. There were massive liquidations and so on, because that was when Aster and then I don't know, the other ones just kicked off. So I think the volume overall reduced after that. We can just launch. The other thing is the market is not doing so well as everyone knows, right? Like the volumes are much lower. I recently saw like the volume of not only swap volume, but like attention is not in crypto. Like the YouTube views for crypto related content is at its all-time low. So and the third thing is we introduced perps as an advanced feature, but we introduce it only as market market orders only. So basically, all the more advanced functionality that advanced traders would like. So like limit orders and other isolated markets and so on, we didn't introduce yet. That's something that we also will be working on this year. Um, and the point about the fees, um, so those fees, what we said, or the idea of the team is, but going back a little bit to the tokenomics, is when you have a token like ours where people are getting rewards and there's kind of USD rewards flowing, that creates kind of a very loyal user base. And but at the same time, like even if you have like $5 of sell pressure, the chart starts looking not so great because you know everyone who wants to hold the token is happy collecting the rewards, but there's two three guys with small money, and they can still make the chart look very bad, right? Because the chart is only the last few people who buy or sell. So one of the things that we have considered was to some of the fees that are coming from services that we cannot distribute, that we might do some buybacks, but we were considering that buybacks and burn do not work. So because that you're just basically burning money. So one of the things we were considering is using that revenue, buying back, staking ourselves, and then basically doubling down and becoming, the main. You become the biggest believer in your own project, right? Like you say, we believe in the future cash flows. We want to put the money there. So that is still it is still a consideration, and that's something we want to execute. But as I said, like the fees on the perps have not been as high as we expected. So
Well, I can speak a little bit on that. I actually tried to use the perps on there, but I guess because I'm an American, right? It's geo locked me out. And that's not a criticism at all. I think this goes to what Kenton was saying earlier. It's just the amount of regulation that you guys have to navigate during this weird transitional teenage years of crypto becoming mainstream. It's got to be exhausting. I actually feel really bad for you guys. You've got this amazing banking license. And I think to Kenton's point, if you could just, I bet if you guys just, if you had the shackles removed from your hands, you would just fly, right? So yeah, that's why I think it's a problem.
Yeah, I think it's going there. I mean, it's we're making small steps, but steady steps, and those compound, and we definitely see the user growth, the revenue growth. We would like to go faster, but sometimes we do go faster. Sometimes it slows a little bit down. But yeah, I mean, we do have to kind of play by the book because we are building a long-term business here. So we all have always consider things that are in the best decisions for us, or that we believe are the best decisions for us for the company in the long run. And some things will, might not be the most convenient, or we will have these, hurdles, like you cannot use it in the US and so on. I think that is changing as well, but it is an ongoing process. And just one small clarification there as well, as you were mentioning. So we have relationships now with partners that have banking licenses, but we ourselves do not have any license, because that puts us in a completely different game that we do not want to be. So we want to be, the integrator, and in a way like the Apple guy who comes and once something is working, they make it nicer, better user experience, cleaner, and so on. But because the banking partner has some pretty strict regulations, so they get audited once per quarter. They cannot work remote. They need to keep paperwork of this and that. So, for example, the KYC process, that's something that is not done by us as well. So we have a provider with the banking partner, and they take over that. They take over of the data, and then we just say, is this a valid customer we can provide you access to, yes or no? Because those guys are on the hook for whatever happens. So they have the very strict things. And And from our side, what we look into is how do we bridge the gap for people that have crypto but want to spend and want to on and off ramp.
Got it. Okay. I have another question here. The other question is, when ETA will spot trading limit orders be implemented in THORWallet?
ETF trading, limit orders. I mean, all of these things are things that we want to introduce. From the limit order, there's two aspects. So the, let's say, the swap, normal swap. I know that THORChain was introducing this. We even have some designs ready. I don't know what is the status of that. I need to follow up, but I think it was put on live, then was halted, something like this. I'm not too sure. You can give some context to that, but we definitely want to introduce the limit swaps functionality. I don't know if it's live or not.
Okay, no problem. We're gonna go ahead, guys. Oh, go ahead, Pedro.
Yeah, and so that was to the limit swaps on THORChain. The other thing is the limits on perpetuals. That's something that we want to bring this year. So it will be something for quarter two probably. And the other thing about ETFs. So we are working, as I said, with several real world asset providers, and even in our perpetuals now you can trade certain stocks. So I think that's where what I think, regardless of what happens in crypto, I think that the biggest things that will move now are going to be like the cryptofication of certain services. So like stocks coming to crypto, services coming to crypto, that they just make it faster. We already saw that with several stocks, Tesla and some others. You can already trade those via our partner DYDX, but they are in the isolated market, and but we're bringing that. You can swap them through Solana. We have that enabled, but that's something that we definitely want to focus a lot more, so that it is easier for people who just have their crypto and they want to exposure to Nvidia, then they can do it through us. And ETFs, that's an interesting thing. We do not have at the moment any plans for that, but that is something we should look into definitely. Like that is a lot of people, their main way of interacting with the financial world is via ETFs. They do nothing else, and that's something we should offer.
Actually, I said ETA. It was I really clumsy.
Okay.
Sorry, but I'm actually glad that you thought I said that, because that was actually kind of an interesting answer. So thank you for that. Guys, I want to shout out to the audience again. If you want to request to come up Aftershock, I'm going to give you one more or Aftermath. I'm sorry, not Aftershock. If you want, give you one more chance to try and check your mic there. But again, this is an open forum, guys. So please request now if you'd like to come up and talk to the most handsome Mexican in the world. I'm checking over here. I'm seeing. I don't see any other questions. Oh, someone is typing, so I'll give them some time to formulate their question. Yeah, man, you guys got a lot going on. Shout out to you. You guys are building, and you're building for tomorrow, not for today. I think it's quite clear what the problems are, right? Regulation and such an infancy in their thing. So shout out to you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, we're happy to be here in going through the ups and downs, and being in the decentralized space. We're big believers on the vision of Bitcoin, and owning your own assets, and privacy. And if you cannot swap your assets, then basically you cannot do much, right? So, and we're excited to have to the work that is ahead as well. We know that there's many things to do, but we're also quite thankful to the community, because many people have been with us for several years, and they request a very high bar, and we thank them for that, because they do say, they speak their mind when they think something is not working, or we need to improve the user experience, and we do take user feedback very, very to heart. I mean, some things we do not have priority for that, or some, but we constantly go into Discord. Marcel, myself, we provide the customer support ourselves, because we want to hear the user. We want to know what is the pain point, and we want to know where we can improve.
Yeah, and yeah, shout out to the THORWallet, THORChain community. I'm actually in a few of those groups where we help bug test. I have Android, so I've actually noticed a few things way a long time ago. So yeah, everyone's really committed and super helpful. It's so great to see. Pedro, we got another one here. Question is there any info of the team, probably DYDX team? Is there a plan to implement limited buy triggers / orders for perps? Now you can only sell like that.
Yeah, so this is definitely going to be done from our side. So it is available with DYDX. So like in DYDX, basically you have like two types of interfaces. So you have like the dumbed down version or like the simplified version, and that's what we implemented. And not because it's dumbed down, but it's just like on perps there's so many things, like you see these buttons, numbers, and for a lot of people like that's too much. So we decided to start with a more simple, less features version, but then you have the pro full trading suite where you have isolated trading, where you have limit orders, where you have all these advanced one cancel other and all of those things. And that's something that we introduce next. We do not have an ETA yet on that because we need to do some planning. But from a trader perspective, that's what you want, right? Because you don't want to be opening, or you might want to do in certain circumstances, you might want to open along with the market because it just some news happen or whatever. But the majority of people will want to have lower fees via limit orders and that type of thing. So we're gonna be introducing that once we introduce the more pro perpetuals driven interface, which will have like the isolated markets that will also have limit orders and advanced functionality. So I think that will come maybe middle of the year. Sooner if we're able to push the card out the door earlier, but it is our goal because we also believe that big swappers are going to be requesting, like big traders request these features. So yeah, it's coming. I don't know, in a few months.
Sure. Kenton, I have another question, but Kenton, I just want to kick it to you if you've got something.
No, keep going, man.
Okay. Next question is, borrowing and lending. They're going to be coming on the app layer for Ruggiera soon. Are there plans to implement Ruggieran primitives anytime soon? What's that relationship look like between you and Ruggiera?
Yes. Well, the relationship is good. I mean, we like the guys. We have been supporters of Ruggiera since the very early Maya days. So we have supported now, I don't know, it's maybe 3 years or so it has been on the app. So we have been with them through the journey. You were able to swap Kujira in THORWallet. Now you can hold Ruggiera in THORWallet. You can swap. It's available for seed, for multi-sig, and we also have already embedded the staking functionality. We are in close talks with them, just kind of feeling the waters. How is it going with the different products that they have? How is it going with the perpetuals? How is it going with the lending markets? And to be honest, I think Ruggiera is a very exciting project. I think that it also is very ambitious. So, I mean, I'm also one of those guys that are messaging when, because we want some of those services to be offered to our users, like being able to lend, but in a proper way where you have lending markets where you get liquidated, where you have interest rates and all of that. So I think as soon as they're ready, we will start looking into possibilities to integrate, depending on how advanced is the TVL and so on. But yeah, we are definitely eager to do that, and especially considering that Ruggiera will also have some cross interactions with Maya, so that's going to be interesting too, to have all of those, three working kind of in unison. So yeah, we want to offer more features related to Ruggiera. I mean, if you do not know, you could go already and stake your Ruggiera in THORWallet. Go ahead and do that. And we do want to offer lending. So that's what I mentioned before. We're going to be introducing Aave soon, which is the largest lending protocol in crypto. And we're going to be doing it kind of slowly, starting with supply only so that people who want to get an interest, they can go deposit earn interest. And later we will see, we will also enable borrow or not. In our experience is that many of these advanced features, like for example, LP, borrowing and so on, I think people not always understand fully the risks. So it's hard to, you know, consolidate into something that the people understand. Okay, you're taking so and so risk, you're taking this other risk, and then that's why we will start only with very consolidated lending projects. And once Ruggira has started to get some traction, we are happy to look into that as well.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for answering that. And that concludes all of the questions that I have that I've been gathering and the ones that people have tagged me. Thank you guys so much for doing that. I really appreciate that. You've helped me make this space much more interesting and engaging when you give me things that are specifically relevant to you. So that's awesome. Well, Pedro, I want to give you the floor here. Is there anything else whatsoever that you think we didn't cover or you want to mention? I think I'm out of questions now, so maybe this might be a good time to begin the process of wrapping up. But the floor is yours. Is there anything else you want to say?
Well, first of all, thank you guys both. We're happy to be here. We have been a couple of times. Happy to discuss multiple topics, but especially focusing on THORWallet. That's our day to day. We are obviously closely looking at what's happening always with THORChain too. We're heavily involved and so on. But from our side, I mean, we love this format. Keep pushing. Thanks for having us. And for those that have not tried THORWallet or did try us in the past, and had good or bad experiences, go and try us again. Download, give us feedback, help us improve, and yeah, that's it. Go to THORWallet, follow us on Twitter. Stay tuned because we have a lot of things that we're still kind of cooking and are not fully ready to be announced. But there's a lot of things that we are planning to achieve this year. We believe 2026 is going to be an amazing year. And thanks for having us.
Hey, no problem. Someone did squeeze in a question, real quick, another one. So they want to know, because you have that raffle system, right? That you guys have that gamification. They want to know what percentage of fees go for the raffle.
That is 5%. 5% of the fees go to the raffle. It has been interesting with the raffle. We have some very avid users. We are gonna be introducing a third, yeah, I would say like a third version of it with more. We're having a new game soon, and the reason for that is because on the app we also want you to be engaged. Sometimes crypto Bitcoin moves like within a $200 range, and if you're not doing perpetuals, there's not much to do on the app. So we want to reward people who are active on the app. So if you have not done that, go to THORWallet, download the app, check the rewards section. You get rewarded for not like no, you don't have to spend anything. You just have to come, log in every day, play the spinning wheel once, and then you start. You can start already accumulating. And the thing is, because it's a raffle, we had some people that have won with very low amount of tickets, and the rewards depend on the activity on the wallet, of course, if we have better weeks or not. But some of the raffles having close to 5K, and then the number one guy wins like almost half of it. So there is quite some interesting rewards for being active in THORWallet. Also, if you swap and other things, you get more rewards. But yeah, that's right now at 5%, and that that is also how we thought about that is if we grow bigger as we want to become one of the top three wallets in the space, that could be some serious money, right? And then people are just going at it heavily and finding ways to strategize to win those rewards. And for us, we're happy to share that as well because we want people to be active on the wallet. We want them to have it as their main wallet, and we will be introducing more games soon.
There you go. Appreciate it. Let me just do one last check here. I think we're going to call it there on the questions. Very good. Thank you, everybody, once again. Hey, Pedro, you are the man. Thank you for hanging out with today. Almost 2-hour-long space. This has been a great one. It has just been deep in the weeds on THORWallet, you guys. Make sure if you join this late, definitely check out the recording. We've taken a lot of notes on this one, so it's going to be awesome. Okay, guys, next week, we're going to be having Let's Exchange. It's going to be Saturday. It's going to be a Monero centralized exchange with Nadine. I am really looking forward to that space. It's going to be really, really interesting. So if you are a fan of privacy, if you are a fan of Monero, do not miss that episode. I'm really, really looking forward to that. Kenton, was there anything else before we wrap it up?
Just as always, guys, these spaces are for you. If you have any ideas for guests, please let us know. We're starting to run out of guests. So give us some ideas so we can populate the next few Saturdays. And thank you, Pedro, for coming on.
Thank you, guys. Have a nice Saturday.
Likewise, Brad. Thank you. Guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you, everybody, for showing up today. Take care now. Bye-bye.